to get a recap on what went down tonight.
Got Jay Kidd first.
Nice.
Yeah, you're good. Go ahead. Yeah, we had turnovers. They sped us up, and they shot the ball extremely well there in that first half. But I thought the response after halftime, we cut it to 7, and we just could never get over the hump after that. We fought, but when live ball turnovers against this team puts you in a bad situation, and that's what happened early. When we live ball turnovers, they capitalized, and they made every shot there in that first half. So give them credit.
What do you say about the performance you put on, especially in the second half?
Yeah, you look at our leader, I thought him and Clay played well. I thought AD did everything he could to help us win. Unfortunately, we didn't shoot the ball straight. We had some great opportunities that just didn't fall for us. A lot of balls were in and out tonight. In Sacramento, we made all those. And so tonight we shoot 31% from 3. And so just understanding we have to shoot better, especially on the road. But give Memphis credit. They were the better team tonight.
He was obviously dealing with something with his right leg. There was he said in the last 5 minutes a medical thing, or is that just a matter of the game getting out of hand?
The game getting out of hand.
Still fresh and raw, but how would you sum up this season for the Mavericks?
An incredible season. When you look at the injuries that we've had, the change. For us to even be here playing in this game tonight, it's incredible. It just shows the character of that group in that locker room, the fight, being prepared, moving on, learning from our losses and also our wins. So an incredible season with the change and injuries. Some would say shouldn't even be here. So give those guys in that locker room a lot of credit.
Jason, how much was the fact that the rebounding tonight?
Yeah, the rebounding, that was probably another part. The offensive rebounds in transition, hurt us. They got a lot of offensive rebounds, and we talked about it. We got to be able to box out, but tonight they got, that's where they hurt us. Being able to get second opportunities and being able to score those second opportunities, which they did.
You said you were talking about it once the season was over, but personally, as a coach, how was the season?
It's, being able to deal with change and being able to deal with injuries as part of sport. And so this is a season I'll have an opportunity to look back at and see where I can get better. But with all the different pieces that we've had as a staff, I think everyone has done an incredible job to keep these guys prepared and motivated and to teach and get better. So we have a lot of great stories from our two-ways playing at a high level, and guys who normally wouldn't get time played and helped us win games this season. So a lot of credit goes to those guys in that locker room and to the staff. As a head coach, you can always learn, and this will be one that I will reflect on and see where I can get better. Thanks.
But as Jason Kidd said, not as many shots were falling, and PJ Washington and Lively combined for 0 points tonight. That's tough. You get no offense from those two guys. It's hard. You need more people, more pieces competing out there to win in a game like this.
Without question, PJ having a goose egg is unacceptable, if I'm being completely honest. But I think Jason Kidd is a little part of him is happy the season's done. They got to get in and figure out a couple things. Kyrie goes down with the ACL. The Luka deal goes down. AD gets there, then gets hurt in the first game he plays. Just a lot of different things going on. I think he's going to be one of the happiest guys to get in there in the offseason, take some time, and then reset and figure out the direction that, they want to go. Nico Harrison's been preaching that defense wins championships. This team is clearly set up to play top shelf defense. How good is Klay Thompson going to continue to look as he gets older? Will he be on the roster? So there's a lot of question marks when we talk about the Mavs overall. But Jason Kidd's a really good coach. I think he gets the best out of his players almost all the time. So remove the Luka situation. The Mavs are going to have to figure a couple things out and work to get the fan base back. And look, all the noise will die down if you put together a competitive squad that wins games in a very competitive Western Conference. Everybody knows that. So does Jason Kidd. So that's going to be the focus.
Yeah, I'm interested to see this team. We got the report that Kyrie Irving should be on track to return early in the new year, hopefully January, targeting a return. And this team's going to look a lot different with a healthy Kyrie Irving, with Anthony Davis, with Lively, and we'll see what other pieces are back, what other additions come in. The defense wins championships. So as the general manager, Nico, has said, time will tell, and wins is how we will be evaluated, how far they go. But he believes that they will contend for a championship yet again, and we will see. Here he is, the head coach of the Memphis Grizzlies, Tuomas Iisalo.
Your first experience as a coach in postseason basketball in Memphis, what did you make of the electricity and the environment of the crowd today?
I mean, it was amazing. It was like from the first moment on, it was the team was humming, and the energy from the crowd just fed into it, and such a positive cycle. Really honored to be part of that.
What qualities were you looking for that brought John Conchar back into the mix the last play-in game after sort of being out of the mix, and then Marvin Bagley into the mix tonight after being out? What qualities were you looking for in those guys that brought them back, and how did you feel about sort of the contributions you got from them?
Well, we spoke a lot about, like I've spoken about in these few games, a lot about finding the right type of lineups and the right balance between those lineups. And one of the things that hasn't been discussed a lot is we have been an absolute juggernaut with Zach Edey on the floor last 10 games. I think his on off is somewhere above 30 per 100, and we've had issues especially with our rebounding in those units that he's not been part of. And what we wanted to do was balance out those lineups that he's out. So having Chitty and Marvin, two of our better rebounders off the bench, and a little bit more positional size and length, and simplify our game plan also offensively. This was the plan. The only challenge for us was that Marvin didn't participate in the practice yesterday because of illness. So this almost derailed the game plan, and incredibly, obviously, Ja is a different story, like how the guy can perform like this after that type of injury. But Marvin is another one. Yesterday he could not make it to the facility. It was that bad. In the morning, he did an extra practice where he went through everything that we had gone through as a team yesterday. And the assistant coaches gave the green light, and medical gave the green light, and incredible performance. And then you got, John Conchar, who's been in and out of the lineup throughout the season, more out than in, and playing 24 minutes plus 18, bringing tremendous contributions. Very disciplined defense on Klay Thompson. You always get possession game extras from him, and very, very proud of those guys.
You touch on it a little bit, but you saw Ja in practice and moving around, and then the dunk in particular that he had in the first half. Did you think he was, given the injury, even capable of doing something like that tonight? And what was your reaction to the play?
I mean, I've learned not to doubt him too much. He comes up with some stuff that I'm not sure there's any other human being on the planet that can do stuff like that. And when it's as a coach, I just try to stay even keel, and I try to stay in my solution mode and not to get emotionally, attached to the game, because it's mostly decision making there. But plays like that test that side of me, and an amazing play. But in the moment, you're just thinking, okay, what are the next moves? And you try to stay very disciplined with your mindset.
Coach, you've talked since the beginning about taking it day by day, one game, one moment at a time. But when you think about the collective weight that's been around this team over the past month to get the win today, what does it mean, and how does it sort of allow you guys to take the next step into the postseason now with a fresh sort of perspective?
Yeah, I mean, exactly like this. There's been so much happening around the team, and we've been able to kind of create our own bubble where every day we just work, we try to get better, and we lean on each other, and guys have done that. Like, they've really trusted each other. They've trusted the coaching staff, like, really a lot. Like, I'm incredibly appreciative to them for that. And like, the Golden State loss was very emotional for everybody because we thought we let a golden opportunity slip away, and that we can do better. And the last couple of days, just the focus from everybody. I said this yesterday after the practice, that you could feel it in every person that was in the gym, whether it be support staff, front office, coaching staff, players. Everybody had just the sole focus of just getting everything out of this, and we're going to do it together. And that's the great thing about sports. Sometimes those challenging moments, they bring you closer. And I think we've been able to do that, and now we have momentum on our side.
Coach, right here, I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit, but given the magnitude of the moment, do you think that might have been the best game you've seen Zach play as a pro?
I don't know. Very difficult to say, but for sure just had a conversation with one of the assistant coaches that Zach also took the Golden State game very hard, after that. And he's shown incredible progress. And I don't know why he would, feel responsible for the loss in Golden State, because he's been amazing the last games. And that just says a lot about him. He's a young guy, and I had a brief conversation with him after the game and just said, like, how lucky are we? First year in the NBA, we get to go to the playoffs. There are players in the league who've never been there. There are coaches in the league who've never been there, and we have this opportunity right off the bat, not to take it for granted. So I think he still has his best performances are ahead of him.
And obviously, important right here, Coach. Obviously important. Tonight was an important accomplishment for you guys, but now you got the challenge ahead of facing OKC in round one. What kind of challenges they provide, and also being prepared for game one on Sunday at 12. Just that quick of a turnaround. What type of challenge would that be as well?
Well, if you talk about challenges, I would say it's a relatively big one to face the team with I think the all-time highest net rating in NBA history. So they're a well-oiled machine. They play very well. They have one of the best, if not the most valuable player in the league in their roster. But everybody supports each other in that team. Also, they have almost no weaklings defensively. Offensively, they know exactly what they want to get, and they've also been able to prepare the whole week. So for us, this quick turnaround, we're going to look to keep a good thing going and take it, as we've said so far, that 1:30 we have our first preparation together. We're going to take everything out of that we can and do the same thing then when we play. I believe it's Sunday. If I'm correct, I'm not really following the days here. just really going day by day.
Just back to Ja real quick. Did you know what to expect of him tonight, and how important was the energy and that he brought to particularly early to the game?
I knew to expect that determination. That was something, he had verbalized that he will play no matter what. But the severity of the injury was legitimately nobody could say if he can actually step foot on the court. Yesterday in practice, he was, limping around. is unable to walk normally, and then you see this type of performance from your leader. It's like the others have no chance but to follow suit, and also as a coach, it puts you into a position where you feel like, okay, if this guy is willing to do that for the team, like I gotta pull my weight, and we gotta do as a coaching staff, do better job than we've done before, to prepare this team. So that type of performances and that type of resilience, it really like pushes everybody to a new level. And I think this can be the identity of this team, that we always feel like we have more to give.
Just going into the playoff series now, does anything change from the approach that you had these last two play-in games when you know it's just one game versus knowing that it's going to be a longer series?
Well, in a series, the dynamic is always a little bit different, In one game series, there's no adjustment from game to game. You have that first game, and you gotta like bring your best performance and hope for a little bit of luck. In a 7-game series, there's still luck involved, but there's less luck, and you have the chance from between the games also to make more adjustments, and that's something we look forward to. Thank you.
Don't worry. Off to Ja and Triple J.
What was it like for you to look like you kind of played off of it, but that the energy in FedEx Forum, what did you make of it today? Experiencing postseason basketball here for the first time in a little while.
Felt just like I normally feel when we're in the playoffs. A lot of energy, a lot of momentum on our side, and, it carried us a victory.
Yesterday, you were limping around pretty good, and today we saw the dunk, like in the first half immediately. Did you even know that you were capable of that given the injury and the severity?
Yeah. That's why I went through the whole process to be out there.
What was the process like to get you back on the court? There's reporting of injections, that sort of thing, and how much did that stuff help?
Went to the doctor, got an MRI, ultrasound, met some different doctors, got a shot, slept, woke up, came to the gym about 5:30, went through walkthrough. After that, sat for about 30 minutes until it was time to see another doctor, get an injection, and start my pregame stuff. That's really about it.
Yeah, Coach talked about setting a tone. That first play was you getting a steal, outlet to Dez, assist goes to Tripp. So the big three was kind of setting a tone there. And then wanted to also get your thoughts on setting the table for like Santi and Zach. You're throwing those things up off the rim, off the backboard. They're not going in, but they're getting those put-back dunks. Should those go down as assists or,
Nah, I'd rather them get the rebound and the points. I'm cool on the assists. Whatever to make they stats better, I'm cool on mine. But, setting the tone, I felt like it was pretty much locked, the whole time. As soon as the, Warriors game was over, we pretty much locked in on, what we had to do to, get to this point. So, Tripp sent us a little paragraph, earlier. Me, Dez responded, and it pretty much was enough said. Like, we already knew what, we was going out there to do, so.
John, the back right here, you've talked about the injuries that you've had to battle through and play through the entire season. The latest example of that tonight, and obviously the biggest game of the year. For you, how important is it to be the guy that plays through those type of injuries when you're not 100% to be out there for your team and, kind of lead the way?
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that?
How important is it for you to be the guy, you've done it all year, that plays through injuries when you're not 100% to kind of set that example and gut it out even when you're not, I imagine, anywhere close to 100%?
I feel like this one was more difficult than others. Obviously, regular season games, it's not win or go home. So this one was way more difficult, the whole process, like learning, what I would have had to do to, be able to get out there. I was kind of questioning it, but, with our staff, the doctors, they gave me all the info I needed in simplest terms so I would understand. And from that point, it was pretty much easy. I wanted to be on the floor. I wanted to play this game and get the win. So,
Ja, you guys you're not new to this situation, right? Going into the playoffs, with you, Tripp, and Dez. What is the mindset like? Obviously, people are going to make a lot out of the 1-8 and, being a tremendous underdog. But do you guys feel underdog, or do you feel like, you guys can line up with these guys despite what happened in the regular season?
I don't feel like this is no different from the regular season. I felt like we were the underdog the whole time. How much people you heard talk about us other than when we lost? Same mentality.
Ja, right here. You talked about locking in, and it seems from the Warriors game, y'all locked in from that loss. Talk about, you basically routed this team from start to finish. You didn't really have to play heavy minutes. Talk about the confidence that gives for you and the guys going into OKC.
Always confident. Simple. Go in there and get wins.
Ja, with you, Dez, and Tripp playing like you did tonight, do you think you guys kind of unlocked something, look like you guys are out there having fun again?
I honestly feel like I could have been better. But, any day, you can wake up and, go do what you love at the highest level. You should have fun. So, feel good to get a win and have smiles around here.
Just looking at OKC, what are the keys going to be to that matchup, and what do you guys have to do?
Guard the ball. It's pretty much it. Guard without fouling, keep your guy in front, rebound, and offensively be us.
Thank you, Jeff. Thanks, Jeff.
Right, ain't it?
Hey, Jaren, you've been in this situation before. You come out the playoff series and went to a playoff. What can you take from your past experience to try to be successful in the playoff?
Well, a series is a series. You got to stay level-headed, and whether you lose a game or you win a game, it really don't matter until it's over. Just stay level-headed.
Yeah, you guys saw what Ja looked like yesterday. What was it like just seeing his performance, in particular that putback dunk in the first quarter?
Yeah, it was crazy. He was doing what he does, and that putback dunk was a huge energy boost at the right time. Dunked all over Santi's head. It was lit.
Jaren over here. We knew going into the game, Dallas posed a challenge with their front court of AD and Gafford and Lively. You guys basically controlled them from wire to wire. Talk about the confidence boost that gives going into OKC, who has Hartenstein and Chet going into the next round.
Yeah, we've been playing a lot of teams with different matchups all year. So, Dallas has size, and we're going to try to replicate certain things and just follow the game plan in the next round.
Jaren, yesterday, obviously, you gave away those tickets. The energy in the building tonight from the get-go, you guys brought it. How much was it that you guys just wanted to make the playoffs and not end the season on a sour note?
Oh, yeah, it was important, especially at home. That's what the fans deserve, is to have a chance at the playoffs in the real postseason. So that was very important to us, and I always say get tickets like every couple of days or whenever I think we're about to come home from a road trip. I always say that. So, and it was just so important for this game specifically. So I'm glad we got it, and we'll be home for Game 3.
And final question: what was that moment like seeing Marcus Smart courtside, not on the bench with you guys, but that's someone that was with you earlier in the season? And what's that experience like?
Yeah, it was good. He had a good fit on. I thought that was dope. His wife was with him. I gave him a hug right before the game started. Yeah, it was a good fit. You feel me?
Jaren, how much, does this feel like a reset now? Like, I know you guys just won the game, just coming off the court or whatever, but just to now separate the regular season and get back to the playoffs, and you guys get to start fresh again, mentally, physically, the whole, maybe not physically, but just mentally and psychologically going into the playoffs.
I just think I don't know if you need to reset or anything. I think we just stay in it, and just stay in whatever vibe it is right now. And it's almost. I feel like it's better when you don't have much time in between games. You just try to keep some sort of rhythm and your body in motion, your mind in that mode.
Jaren, so in the last game, it seemed like the defense was looking to send crowds at you whenever you were on the drive or in the mid post. But in this game, you had 4 assists. Was there any sort of adjustment that you felt like you needed to make when it came to making those reads, whether it was out of the mid post or off drives?
I mean, you just gotta make simple passes. When someone's open, you just hit them on time, on target, and it's really just simple stuff. Because it's simple, if you make it complicated, you end up having turnovers and overthink it. But I've been seeing a lot of coverages this year, so I've just been trying to keep it simple right now.
Jaren in the back. Wanted to get your thoughts on your rookie, Zach Edey. You gave him the assist by coming and doing podium here, but just what have you thought of how he's been able to play, especially down the stretch, going into the playoffs, and especially tonight?
I'm happy for him. I've always told him that he's going to know what's best, as he progresses in his season and his career. And I think it's coming together for him in a lot of ways. And there's so many more avenues and things that I don't even know, that he's going to know and he's going to figure out on his own about where his game could take him. But he's doing it right now for us, and he's a rookie. So, we can't really ask anything more of him right now. We ask for a lot from him, like, every night. And he knows that, like, we can probably get annoying, but, like, we appreciate how he handles it with just grace. And he's really humble. If I was a 2-time player of the year coming into any team, I'd have probably something to say, maybe. Who knows? But he don't, so.
Just looking at OKC, the games you played against them earlier this season, what stood out about what they did, and what do you guys need to do better in this series?
We just need to follow our game plan, make things simple, limit our turnovers, try to take away their strengths and focus on ours.
Hey, Jaren, I know last was a disappointment to everybody around, but how much more after the season you had last year to be back in the playoffs?
I always wanted to use things from last season to propel us for this season, and I think our season this season has just been, there's probably no real words to describe it. It's been a lot of different things. But I think there's been a lot of positives and a lot of growth, and I'm very encouraged by our season our regular season as a whole, and I think it'll help us down the line and years to come. But even right now, I don't think we should overlook right now and the opportunity we have. And
And Jaren, Coach talked about setting a tone. A few of y'all players have talked about setting a tone going into Oklahoma City. That first play was a Josh strip. He gave it to Dez on the outlet. Dez got it to you for the assist. It was all 3 stars making a big play to start this game. How do you keep that momentum going, going forward for the playoffs?
Just like you said, we got to play defense first, run the floor, make sure we're getting to the right spacing. So running helps all that. If we don't run, then we won't get the spacing we need to make those reads. So I think it's really about running. You got to run.
Thank you, Jaren. Thank you, Jaren. Nice job.
Let's take a look at some of the highlights from their play tonight while you break down some of the things we heard from them.
Yeah, if they have 3 top-end guys that are some of the best trio in the league. You go Ja, then you have a big versatile in JJJ, Defensive Player of the Year winner, has now extended his game beyond the arc. And then you have Desmond Bane, who was a knockdown, lights-out shooter and a pure offensive bucket getter. So then you have a guy in Edey who can control the paint and do a lot of different things, and that's exactly what they're asking of him. Jaren Jackson Jr. said they asked a lot of him, and he's been taking criticism but dealing with it and continuing to show up every single night. And what more can you ask from a rookie? So Ja seems like Ja altogether just wants to do let all the talking be done on the floor. So I love that he talked about, his pregame routine and getting ready to go and doing whatever he has to do to get out there on the floor for his guys. I thought that insight was really cool. But he knows they're up for a tall task with the Thunder. But then JJJ is the even keel fun guy, that seems he seems that like the guy that brings a little levity to the group and keeps them afloat that way. I thought it was awesome that he shouted out and said, "What's up?" to Marcus Smart, talked about his fit. And I think that is one of the things that this team overall is missing. If they can get some veteran leadership, like if you look at the squad, it's still an extremely young team. And that's what Derrick Rose and Marcus Smart were brought in to be over the last few years. It just didn't work out with the roster construction that they were trying to move forward with. But this squad has a ton of talent. Santi Aldama is one of the great versatile bigs. They have a lot of guys that can hoop, and they have a superstar in Ja Morant if he can stay healthy. So it was awesome to see those three guys get going and talk about if we play D and then that triangle of us three, as JJJ said, can get out and continue to make plays offensively. Everybody lean on us. We'll make it happen. And we got a shot to compete. The one positive here for the Thunder is that they're familiar with them. They've seen them before. This isn't one of those situations where they don't know what's coming. They'll be able to, take a little time off that they have and get ready to go. So it's a tough task, but they know what's coming and how to game plan for it.
Desmond Bane, he had a big game as well. 22 points, 9 assists from Desmond Bane, distributing the rock, 5 boards, 2 steals, and some sound bites for us as well. Wow, he's going to dish out more for us. Here is Desmond Bane and his thoughts post-game.
Matt Linder.
Des right here in the back. I'm sure obviously you guys were going to come out fired up regardless, but when Ja does the stuff he's doing at the beginning of the game, especially with what he's been through the last couple of days just to be out there, how much extra juice did that add to you guys right away?
Oh, I mean, he always adds, juice to what we got going on. I mean, he's MVP type player, walking highlight reel. I was happy he was able to give it a go, and I knew he was going to show up.
It's been a struggle late in the season, and then for you guys to show up and perform the way that you did, what does it say about the team overall, and what does it say about Ja that he went to the lengths that he did to make sure you guys could get into the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, we ain't done. A hungry group that wants to continue playing.